Joining us now on the line is Stuart Varney. He is the anchor of Varney and Company on the Fox Business Network. Weekdays at 11 a.m. Stuart, good morning to you. Always a pleasure.
Good morning, Brian. Good to be with you.
All right, so the president yesterday held this summit on violent extremism, and he says, look, here's the problem. You know, the problem is we need to find jobs for all these people who are becoming terrorists. Here's a little sample of what the president had to say.
What's true, though, is that when millions of people, especially youth, are impoverished and have no hope for the future, when corruption inflicts daily humiliations on people, when there are no outlets by which people can express their concerns, resentments fester. The risk of instability and extremism grow. Where young people have no education, they are more vulnerable to conspiracy theories and radical ideas because it's not tested against anything else. They've got nothing to weigh.
So there you have it. The president says, you know, we don't need to wage war against ISIS. We just need to find them jobs.
The president is profoundly wrong and appears to be distracted from reality. I was appalled. I watched that speech yesterday, and it seemed like an apology tour. It's totally misguided. The man wants to invest in what? He wants to create jobs for young Muslims? Where does he want to invest? The societies of Syria, Libya, Iraq are in absolute ruins. Algeria, Egypt, their economies are in deep, deep trouble. Iran, chaotic, and they want to build a nuke. Nowhere in Muslim Middle East, Muslim North Africa is there a viable democracy other than Israel. And there's no viable democracy which you can invest in to create jobs. I don't know why the president is doing this. He's just running away from World War III, if you ask me.
And Stuart, you know, we saw this with Prime Minister Cameron when he was in Washington a couple of months ago. There seems to be a real divide between the president's approach here and what many other leaders, like Prime Minister Cameron, like the leader of France, for crying out loud. France seems to be leading right now in this fight against terrorism more than America is.
But what about the leader of Egypt?
Yes.
Al-Sisi.
Al-Sisi, exactly.
What about the King of Jordan? They're taking the fight to the enemy,
and they don't
without help from Obama.
And those two men, President Al-Sisi of Egypt, a Muslim, and King of Jordan, a Muslim, they don't seem concerned about offending Muslims worldwide by saying, hey, these guys are a problem, and this is a radical Islamic terrorism.
The leader of Egypt went to the leading university for Muslim clerics in Cairo and said, we need a revolution within Islam. Yeah. He went straight to the principal clerics of Islam in Egypt and told them, we need a revolution. Now, that man's doing the right thing. What is Obama doing? Saying, give them a job and they'll stop the terror? I mean, that is simply unbelievable, quite frankly. The man's walking away from a profound threat to the United States.
I would love to turn to a couple of financial issues that are, I think, noteworthy, especially as they intersect with politics, because I think, Stuart, that's your wheelhouse. The Clinton Foundation. The new report here that the Clinton Foundation has brought in $2 billion over the last several years. If Hillary Clinton is going to run for president, isn't every single one of those donations worthy of scrutiny? Isn't there a huge conflict here?
It's a direct conflict of interest. Much of that money, $2 billion since the year 2001, much of it came from Wall Street, of all places, and a lot of it came from foreign governments. And a lot of that money from foreign governments flowed in right after Hillary Clinton stepped down as Secretary of State. Now, there's a direct conflict of interest. People are giving money to a foundation, which is essentially a third party, run by a former president. They're giving that money because they want to influence a potential future president. Yeah. That is a conflict of interest when a foreign government is doing it, and it's a political conflict of interest when Wall Street is doing it, because Wall Street is supposed to be the enemy of all Democrats.
You know, I was looking at the Dow, which is down slightly yesterday, but it's still above 18,000. Yeah. And you look around the world, and the world is in chaos, but the Dow just continues to go and go and go. Why is that, do you think?
I'm asked this by everybody. Yeah. What is going on? The world is on fire, and yet the Dow Industrials are at record high levels. We've never seen this before. What's going on? Well, it's not actually that difficult to explain. Interest rates are at virtually zero. The American dollar is going straight through the roof, going straight up. So investors all around the world want to put their money into dollars. What's the best way of doing that? You buy America's debt, which pushes interest rates down, or you buy American stocks, which are going up, and you get a capital gain and a currency gain. That's what's going on here. They don't care about terrorism unless it strikes here in a big way, which affects our economy. Then the money markets will care. But at the moment, they just care about low interest rates and a rising dollar.
And I want you to share something from behind the scenes there at the Fox Business Network. Tell me true. When the Dow crossed 18,000, did Neil Cavuto do a little dance or something?
That would be an inside story, and I don't have it for you. The idea of Neil Cavuto dancing is interesting.
Yes, exactly. It conjures Hobbit images to me. Stuart, on Varney and Company yesterday on Fox Business, I saw you guys were talking about this revelation from Apple. Apple usually is right on it with technology, and they hit the mark. But the Apple Watch, which has been really, they've been touting this thing, one of the big issues was going to be the health component. They want to compete with Fitbit and with Nike Plus and with Jawbone. With these, I'm seeing all my friends have these little bracelet things that monitor your heart rate and everything. Apple Watch now saying it's not going to be included because we can't get the sensors to work right.
Well, some things on a health watch will be included on the Apple Watch, but some things they've got a technical glitch with.
Yeah.
It appears that dry skin or hair on your wrist interferes with the sensors, which they were going to use to take your blood pressure, for example. Or that's one thing which they cannot do yet. But I'm a huge supporter of the Apple Watch because I think it's a new platform. They've got some wrinkles to start with, but so did the iPhone when it first came out.
Yeah.
But they develop it. It's a platform. They build on it. And I think it's going to be a smash hit.
I have hairy wrists, Stuart.
I mean, you have to shave your wrist to
I
be
have
able to use it?
extremely. I mean, look at me. I'm ape-like. Do you see that?
Well,
look at me. It's like
thank heavens for radio, Larry.
Exactly. This is why you're on TV, Stuart. Hey, are you a gadget guy? Have you noticed that people have these Fitbits and these jobs? Are you getting one of those? Are you monitoring your heart as you sit
I don't
there?
have one, but I do think that wearable computing power is clearly here to stay.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe they haven't worked out the precise function yet, or rather the fashion that it'll work in. But wearable computing power, here it is, and here it comes. And the Apple Watch is part of that. They're looking for maybe 19 to 25 million watches, Apple Watches, sold in the first year of business.
And you don't think that this is going to hurt those sales, this revelation, that
No.
some of the health components won't be there?
No, Apple
because the brand
cool.
is so strong. Yeah, people
Apple
want
is
Apple.
the most important technical company
You're right.
in the world. People want what it puts out,
You're right.
regardless of the price.
So right, Stuart. I was just out to dinner with friends of mine. We were talking about, what do you have?
Yeah.
Fitbit, Jawbone, and one of my friends said, I'm holding out for the Apple Watch. I'm not going to buy one of those until Apple comes out with it because they're so loyal to that brand.
Here it comes, April.
All right,
All right, Stuart Varney.
Thanks.
Always a pleasure, Stuart.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Bye-bye.